Hi folks, I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Council Candidates 2021. On November 2nd, Old Bridge residents are going to go to the polls to elect 6 candidates for the 6 ward seats on the Township Council. We're going to bring you interviews with all of these candidates here on Old Bridge Television. Today, I'm pleased to welcome in our guests from Ward 6. First, on my immediate left is the Democratic challenger, Nina Jochnowitz. And on my far left is the incumbent, Republican John Murphy. Folks, thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Nina, if I may talk to you first, you're a relative newcomer. People may not know you. Could you give us a little resume, please? Tell the residents about yourself, some personal, some professional.
Okay, so personally, I've been in the town for 22 years. I'm a mom. I have lots of animals. Most people know me as like Dr. Doolittle in a sense, because I'm always animals are being dropped off. I've worked as a scientist for the lion's share of my career. I'm a neuropharmacologist by trade. And what was the second part to your question?
Second question, no, pretty much that it. Well, what you do? How long have you lived in Old Bridge? 22 years?
22 years, and almost 40 years here in Middlesex County.
And you're basically in clinical research?
It was in basic research most of my career, but now I'm supporting the clinical end, yes.
Okay, is this your first foray into civic or political?
I'm a elected committee person here in Old Bridge for a Democratic committee, and I've been about 14 years in that role.
Okay, thank you, Nina. John, if I can come to you, you've been on the council now for 4 years. People may know you, but those who are new to the township, what would you like to tell them about you?
I've been in Old Bridge for 62 years. I have one son, 33 years old. I did all my schooling in Old Bridge Township. I went to Middlesex County College and received a degree in environmental health science engineering, and later on I went to NJIT for quite a while.
John, are you still working, or are you retired?
No, I retired in 2010 from the Old Bridge MUA.
Okay.
I have been associated with the Old Bridge MUA in one aspect or another for the past 50 years.
Wow.
I'm currently the chairman of the OBMUA, the vice chairman of the OBMUA commissioners.
Okay, that pretty much gives people a good overview of
yes,
what you're doing and
I served on the South Old Bridge Fire Department, and what I like to do in my spare time is like play golf and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, John. Nina, if I can come back to you, why are you running for council?
The 6th ward has been neglected. That's basically it.
When you say neglected, in what way?
The council or this township has not invested the amount of money or their focus in on the 6th ward, and over time we have fallen to the wayside. Mm-hmm. Our stores are empty. The streets are not being repaired. Their storm drains are collapsing. I see sinkholes in their streets that I report on a regular basis. It's a mess. And then our town, these people are paying taxes. I'm paying taxes. I'm a homeowner, and I pay taxes, and I see nothing from it. So
what would you do about this if you were sent to the council? Do you have a solution in mind, or what would you do?
Well, I think there's a lot of solutions. One, but the question is to see where the money's going and to get our money coming to our neighborhoods, to get investment back into our neighborhoods, and that needs to be done.
Okay, John, if I may come to you on that, do you agree with Nina, or you've been around a longer time? What do you think about Ward 6 and what's happening?
I agree with some of her points, especially the one about the storm drains. There was one development in my town, 13 storm drains had a hole the size a baby could fit in right outside it. Wow. I actually have a direct line to the person in charge there. He came out, they fixed all 13 of them. Mm-hmm. But there's a good chance they can cave in again. The workmanship's not the same. Yeah. He said, in this building's been here 4 years, and they've had these 13 cave-ins. Searwood South, in its 60 years, has 1. It's just the workmanship. What else?
What do you think that the Ward 6 is the stepchild, or why is it being orphaned?
I think a lot of it has to do with just being the oldest part of town.
Yeah.
You know, and there are a lot of things that need to be repaired and worked on. She had talked about in one of her flyers about putting sidewalks in, but that would just cost way too much money to do that. My big thing is let's start getting the streets paved. How that is done is the engineer sends out an inspector and they decide which streets will be done. It's like a 5-year term they have and they do them in order. But I've had a couple streets and I've brought them ahead myself and they've taken care of it. Now, a lot of times the people, as she probably knows, are calling up on county roads.
Right.
That's different. We cannot go on county roads. But
Yes, sir.
a lot of times people get mad at me, but I will call the county myself.
Yeah.
And I will say, look, you need to get out here. And she'll learn that too.
Yeah, John, can't this be worked into the capital budget?
Yes.
Or is it worked in, or do you have an influence over it?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do the budget every year
Right.
with each department. It's a three-step process, and the council members are invited to all of them, and we have a lot of input.
Okay. Answer me another question, if I may. You've been on the council now for 4 years. What have you taken away from that? What's been your learning experience?
I did not know when I first got on what it was going to entail, but I have actually fallen in love with Ward 6. I've never really met all the people there, but they're definitely a different type of people.
Really?
Yes. My favorite thing is when they come to me with a problem,
Yes, sir.
I can most of the time fix it for them. If I can't fix it, I'll get somebody out there who can.
Right.
And I feel like they feel that their councilman is working to help them. And I'm always riding around town myself. I feel like a cop sometimes. I'm riding around town to see if there's problems. The customers call me with complaints and with thank yous. And I love that. I love that the people care what I'm doing.
Okay, well, I think you're anticipating my next question. What's your greatest satisfaction? I think your greatest satisfaction is just this.
It's the greatest
reaching out to the
satisfaction
people.
is helping out the people. You know, everybody says, why am I running? If I can get one smile from a person every
Okay.
time I talk to them, that makes my day. And when they call up and leave a message, thank you for taking care of that, that's all I really care about. I'm here for the residents. I'm not here for Republicans. I'm not here for Democrats. I'm here to help the people and strive to make this a better town to live in.
Okay, thank you, John. If I can come back to you, Nina, for a moment. What strength do you think you bring to the council? What expertise?
Organization.
Organization.
As a scientist,
Tell us about
spend
that.
most of my time organizing to make sure I do things in the proper order and identify the weaknesses so that we can address them prior to starting something up. And that makes a big difference. And one of the things that has happened in the scientific community, actually in the industry, is they took on this whole program of Six Sigma, which I don't want to go into other than the fact that it takes into a lean approach to doing things. And one of the problems I see in the town, and John was talking about the streets and stuff, there's a 5-year plan. The problem is I've seen streets that haven't been paved in 47 years. And so to that point, unfortunately, we have nothing on the books which actually maps out where the streets are in their age, and as a result, you know, the person who screams the loudest perhaps gets the street
Really?
paved. Unfortunately, I don't know how it's done. It's not done by age. There should be a 20-year cycle, from what I've been told. That's not my bailiwick. However, we should be doing it more than once every 47 years. I think everybody could probably agree to that one.
Okay, thank you, Nina. I think you're already addressing some of the things I was just going to get to. And let me ask you a question. Again, John, if I can come to you first. Biggest issue facing the township broadly, would you say? We'll come back to the ward in a minute, but how about issues facing the township?
I think one of the biggest things has to be their concern. We've had a 0% rate increase in Oldbridge for the last 4 years. I think they're a little concerned about us raising taxes, which I'm going to strive to keep it as low as it can.
Yes, sir.
And you know, the problem is, the COVID became part of the problem, and we lost a lot of stores.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not a
yes.
big fan of building strip malls, but we have to get these businesses back into town. We have to try to explore what we can do to bring the businesses back, and this way we can have and make it easier for people to move into the town and to work in the town.
Okay.
And I feel that's the two biggest problems that they face right now.
John, in that light, being a council member, I know some of these complaints have come up before. A lot has to do with code enforcement and that type of thing, that the town is not as business friendly as it could be. Do you agree with that, or could it be more business friendly? As you look at the township right now.
I probably shouldn't be saying as a councilman.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
But I feel the town should be more friendly to have people come to town. I feel like sometimes the way it works, they drive the people away. And code enforcement, I feel sometimes is a little too tough. You know, they have to lighten up a little bit and let the people live and not charge them a fortune when they want to sell their house. Because they make them, if say their house was built with no, back in the old days, you didn't need a permit for windows. Well, now they're going to charge them for that permit and they want the windows replaced. See, I feel, why do that? Why drive the people away? We want to bring people into the town.
Right.
We want to make this a town that we can all believe in and trust. And that's how I feel about that.
Okay, well said, John. Thank you. Nina, what do you think the biggest issue is facing the township broadly? You can stay away from the ward for a minute. The biggest issue broadly, what would you think?
Well, I honestly try to focus in on the 6th Ward because that's been
Okay.
a big problem with our town. They focused in on everything, unfortunately, right, John? But our 6th Ward. As he spoke of, it is the oldest ward, and as a
Right.
result, it's the most neglected, unfortunately. There were opportunities that we've missed. For instance, Duhernal could have been purchased or taken in part ownership by this township, but the township chose not to do that. But we have problems associated with our town and traffic, and we're getting more traffic because we're having an excess of apartments being built in the town. But 6th Ward has empty stores. They've had empty stores even prior to COVID. And even when they fill them repeatedly with the same types of businesses that fail. There are no little supermarkets that people can go to. There's
interesting
no
point.
boutiques. The coffee shop, thankfully there's at least one, the Old Bridge Diner. But people can't even really walk. There's no real downtown that's being developed.
Right.
And as a result, what happens is our community looks like it's falling to pieces on the main drag, and we need to address that. We need to restore Englishtown Road, make it a place that people want to drive down. They look at it and they say, oh, I want to stop there for a coffee. That looks super fine. Or, hey, that's a pizza place over there. That looks interesting. I haven't been to that. That would be really lovely. Or even going into the little shops, whatever it is, that's what we need. And that'll bring in better businesses, and that'll bring in better community involvement, and people will be on the downtown. There's also nothing to be done for the children in our neighborhoods. My son, thankfully, goes off to St. Thomas on Saturday afternoons, and he plays football. I shouldn't advertise that.
Okay.
But he and other boys do that. But that's like one of the few things the kids can do locally where they don't need to go and get a permit and get the clearance from the township to go into the parks. And then there's other parks where I will not allow my son to go in because there's been a history of problems.
Okay, well, thank you for saying that. We'll pick this up in a moment. If I can ask you to hold your thoughts for a moment.
Okay.
We're getting ready to take a break, folks. We're talking with the candidates from Ward 6, Nina Jochnowitz, who is the challenger, a Democrat, and the incumbent, John Murphy, a Republican. We'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.
Voting? Here are your options. You can now vote early in person October 23rd through October 31st, or send in a vote by mail ballot postmarked by November 2nd, or vote on Election Day at your assigned voting location. Middlesex County, NJ.gov/vote.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Folks, welcome back to Council Candidates 2021. We're meeting today with the candidates from Ward 6, John Murphy, who is the incumbent Republican, and our challenger, Democrat Nina Jochnowitz. Folks, again, thank you for being here. If we can pick up where we left off, we were talking about a lot of interesting issues. One thing, and I sent some discussion about the council, the nature of the council. John, let me talk to you first. You've been there 4 years. One person up there make a difference? 1 in 9?
Sometimes. That person would have to it would be very hard to convince the rest of the people if a bunch of the people are together.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 years ago, before that, it was a complete Republican
Right, I remember.
council.
I remember well.
And the fighting was the worst I've ever seen. It's worse than it is now.
Yes, sir.
Well, in 2017, all challengers won. All the challengers won, and we became control.
Right.
We now had 6 votes.
Right.
At that time, it did make a difference because we could ask questions. We were all new. We could ask questions. We could do things, but it didn't work out that way because at one point we brought up something that was very important to us, and we felt it was very important to the residents, and it passed 6-5.
Right.
I'm sorry, 5-4.
5-4, yeah.
The next meeting, the mayor vetoed it, which nobody thought he was going to do. And we didn't have, you need 2/3 of votes, and we didn't have it.
Right.
So at that point, people started jumping sides and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's what happened. So it's very hard for one person to make a difference.
Okay, thank you, John. Nina, the council right now is 7-2 Republican. You're a Democrat. How do you think you survive? Can you make a difference in that environment?
Well, yes, because most people who've met me on the streets, and I pretty much walk every day except for today, would say to you that I walk for the people, and it's not about a party, it's about the Sixth Ward people. And one of the things I've told every single person, if elected, I'm going to be counting on you folks to come into the council meetings, because John's absolutely right. One of the problems in the council is that you can't sway the team of people, correct?
Exactly.
So one of the best ways to do it is to get the people to come from the wards and speak and actually get in there, because they have to be advocating, and then we can speak with one voice individually to make a difference. And like John just was speaking about, they had something that was vetoed by the mayor. Had the community come in and spoken, maybe the mayor would not have vetoed it.
Okay.
Or maybe even more so, the council would have come together. And I don't know which vote he's talking about, but this is the problem we have here. We want to have things happen in this town.
Well, what's if I may interrupt you, and Nina, I'm sorry, what's the one biggest thing people are saying to you when you walk the streets? What are they really concerned about, or what do they want changed?
They're concerned, obviously, about their taxes. And while John spoke of taxes didn't go up, they've gone up about 10% annually, including this year, and everybody's kind of annoyed by that. And that's not because of the stuff going on in the Board of Ed, because that's only 2% a year. But we are getting money coming in every single year, more money every year, and they don't know where that money is going. And they need to know.
And the people want to know.
And the people want to know. And the people in the Ward 6 are tired of having things dumped in their backyards like garbage, and we need specific things to change, like bulk garbage pickup. Sorry.
Okay,
we
that's
do.
what
We
they're
need,
talking about too.
they
People.
want to have a cleanup plan in this town so that they don't have to see the garbage being dumped on their streets. My
Okay.
street alone too.
John, what are you hearing when you walk the streets? And you're better known probably. What are you hearing?
I want to just, can I comment on what you just said? a little
Please.
bit? Okay, right now, 72% of our taxes, and you can look at it, any chart,
Yeah.
anything you want to do, goes to the Board of Ed.
Right.
20% goes to the county. I don't know why. I don't know why we're giving 20% to the county. As most of the council doesn't understand why. That means the township gets 8%. That's for all the salaries, all the work that has to be done. You can, I don't know how we even survive on that. But that's what it is. There's only 8% left. And that's all I have to say about that. I mean, it's I mean,
But
when-
what are people telling you they want? Number one, what's the big complaint, the biggest issue they want you to change when you go back?
Well, it's been pretty much all the time. I've been trying to work on it.
Yeah.
It's like she says, getting run down. You know, I've got it a little cleaner. The people are starting to show a little respect, but people don't seem to care about the streets and what's happening. And it's not them so much as the people riding down Englishtown Road and just chucking stuff out the
Right.
window. That they'd like to see it cleaned up. They'd like to see some of these gas stations clean up their cars and stuff like that. They want it to be pretty much like every other part of the town, where, and I do sometimes feel that we are neglected. But since I've been there, I have made many calls. I have gotten a lot of things fixed, and they've actually given me the right now to call the person in charge. Like, instead of going through the administrator,
Yes,
I
sir.
can call the head of the recreation department, the head of the
Yeah, you should
of
be,
everything.
right.
That's what I do, and that's how I get a lot of things done. I mean, there's a lot of recreation problems. I get calls on lights, I get calls on this, I get calls on
Yeah.
everything, and like I said, I just want to help the people. That's all I really care about. You think I want to, at 67 years old, I want to run around doing this stuff, but I want to give back to Old Bridge what it's given to me for the past 62 years.
Okay, thank you, John. Well said. One thing, I'll address to you, John, too, but to you, Nina, you may have a point of view on this. A lot of people have said recently, I would suspect, that the council is very frequently fragmented, that they're rarely unified on issues. And I'm asking you, are there some issues in the township that should be bipartisan? That should not be a Republican issue or a Democratic issue? Should there be more unity in some things?
I feel, I'm my own person. I vote for how I feel. I
Right.
don't care whether a Democrat, I don't care if they're Republican, I don't care anything about that. I only care about the people. And there are issues that are bipartisan, because you'll see at the council meeting, a lot of times, most of the time, people are agreeing with things, because I feel that a lot of the council people do have, do want to help the people.
Right.
And like I said, I've just been with those people in Ward 6, and I've fallen in love with them. They're my, like, kids sometimes. During COVID, I was going and picking up stamps for the people at the residences. I had to go pick up prescriptions. I did a lot of stuff then, but I don't mind, because I'm
Right.
retired. I have nothing to do,
Right.
and that's what I do.
Nina, do you think that people on the council is polarized? And do
Yes.
your ward constituents report that? Do they
Yes,
feel it's
they do.
polarized?
I get that. That is one of the major problems that they see. They see them bickering all the time instead of actually addressing the real issues of our community. And it's almost like a dog and pony show, you know, or wag the dog. Isn't that what the saying is? Wag the dog.
Right.
And that should stop. And I will not partake in that crap.
But again, how can you change it? What can you do to reestablish some kind of collegiality on the council? What do you think, John? Can you reestablish that and get away from this bickering?
It's tough when you're working with some of the people that don't like what I say.
Right.
They don't want to hear what I have to
So
say.
it gets personalized sometimes.
I guess you could say it's personalized, but not too many people up there speak their mind. I don't care what I say. I only care about what we're doing is right for the residents. So I'm not going to say I don't have a lot of differences with my own party at
Yeah,
times.
no, I understand that.
And that's how I feel. I'm my own person. I vote how I feel and what would be best for the township.
And Nina, how would you say, as a newcomer, how would you think, as a candidate, you differ from John? How do you differ from your opponent?
John knows I love him.
Nina, if I can start with you on that.
Yeah, no, I was going
We're
to
not none of that here.
But John knows I love him. This is the thing. John is nicer and more because he's the person of the party, the majority party. In some ways, he's had to defer to them. I don't have any ownership in that party, and so I can speak to the people, and I expect that I'm going to get a lot of people to come and speak for the 6th Ward, and I think that will stop the bickering, because they're going to see people talking in public again, because they finally opened up the council meetings, which they kept closed for 18 months, right?
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. I see we're getting close to the end of the show. Before we close it, and Nina, again, I'm going to turn to you first, if I may. As the challenger, why should people send you to the council?
I'm the type of person who affects change, and that means that give me a project to do and it gets done. I've never been one to let something go, and that's what I will bring to this. I will bring this to this whole of the 6th Ward, regardless of course, the party. I don't really care about parties. That I will do what is right for our community, and we need a better 6th Ward. We need a community that goes downtown and smiles and feels good and stays on those streets, in those shops, in the businesses, and actually does something within our community. We start to engage again.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Nina. Where are people going to find you on the ballot?
Column A.
Column A.
I'm running, so I think I haven't seen the ballots, but I think I sit at the
A7?
bottom. A7, is that
A7.
it? Okay.
Right, okay. And John, why should people send you back to the council?
I feel that I've made a lot of changes there, and I represent the people the best I can. I'm not going to make changes like in a president or anything in 4 years.
Right.
I'm going to continue doing what I have done in the past. I'm going to work harder and harder, and like I said before, I want to give back to Old Bridge what Old Bridge gave to me, and that's really all I have to say.
Okay, and where are people going to find you on the ballot?
I'll be on line B.
You're B7, right?
Okay, I'm B7. I didn't know.
One last thought. What do you do about people that, as I said before, with the governor race at the top of the ticket, what do you do about people that just block vote right down from the top, either Dem or what do you do about that? Because I think
obviously
that
I can't do anything about it, and I don't.
No, but I mean, how do you think that's going to impact your campaign?
No, I think that's more of a state thing. We're more of a local election. I really don't think it's going to affect either one of us.
Do you think the turnout will be greater because the governor is running?
Yeah.
Is that going to benefit the Democrats or the Republicans with a Democratic governor at the top of the ticket?
Well, the governor would love to have that happen, right? How I think that's going to affect it, I think that the community that I've met with want to vote for some change here in town, and I'm hoping they're going to vote at A7.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay, thank you, Nina. Thank you, John, for coming in today. I want to
you
wish
very
you both
much.
best of luck out on the campaign trail.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
And we'll
No
see what
matter what
happens on
happens.
November 2nd. And folks, this has been
Now I know all about it.
Council,
I didn't know anything about it.
Candidate Council 21. This time, we'll be back with other shows here on Old Bridge Television. Remember to get out and vote on November 2nd, because one vote does and can make a difference. I'm Gene McLaughlin. We'll see you next time. Take care.